Hello, and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on today's episode, I asked a question: how many fucks did I get given for my 40th birthday? Stay tuned to find out.
And Daddy dear, you're still number one, but girls, they just want to have fun.
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live from the Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
And we both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I have to say, Daniel, I found my new favourite thing, and I think it is because of my age. It's baking pans that come with the measurements in them.
Oh, shut the front door.
Yeah, I checked a lot of the one that the hub's put away. I'm baking tomorrow for Meg is having a wonderful party, and I did get the Mary Bay cookbook out and put it in a baking pan, and then it all got put away. That's another story. But some of the baking pans now they actually have it for a while, but some of them actually, if you look, have the measurements in. It makes it a lot fucking easier than getting out the ruler and going, is this a 9x13?
Oh. Well, whenever you get it back out, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's just like a fucking time. It's a lifesaver, actual lifesaver. Mm-hmm. Daniel, how have you been?
I have been okay, but how have you been, my dear friend? You don't look a day over death at this point.
Well, I didn't fucking drink, you see. So out of everything that happened last week, I didn't drink. I didn't do any marijuana. I did my 40th birthday party stone cold sober.
Same here. I was sober at your party as well. Cheers.
It was a lovely party, and everyone really, really gave me a really nice weekend. And I can't really thank people enough. There was a lot of people here. It did get a bit overwhelming, and we had to keep the bear. So we do have the windows and doors open again, partially because it is like we're coming to the end of the nice DC weather before we go into the hot. And also our aircon is going to be replaced tomorrow.
Which means we don't have aircon right now.
Aircon, and it's just the right time to do it. But the little bear he's struggling, the poor little thing. But we are all good. So if it does sound windy and traffic-y, it's because we're surrounded by wind and traffic. Welcome to a city that's been designed to carry sound in really odd ways.
Yeah, it does indeed.
But no, it was it was lovely. We up until the last minute, on the Friday had a neurologist appointment, which was a complete fucking waste of fucking time because well, anyway, we'll go to that. And after that, I buzzed the husband and just said to him, I'm going to see Star Wars, and then after that we're going to go for a meal. And I said, and then because he buzzed me, and then a couple of people were asking about what was going on with me, and I said I'm not talking about that till 9 o'clock Monday morning.
Fair enough.
And the hubs agreed. I said there's nothing we can do now. When there's nothing nothing we can do. And so we just spent the weekend, and we had a really nice party.
It was very nice.
And got some lovely gifts from people. Which I'm not a gift person. I don't need gifts. But what people got was always. Even you got me the lovely landmark vouchers and stuff.
So it was one of the days I was like, what does my best friend love? He loves books and he loves movies. And I'm like, he probably is going to be a little bit picky about his books, and he already has enough. And I'm like, I'll just get the voucher for the theater, because I was like, I knew you were going to use it. I
will use it quite happily. I'm so excited. No, it was just really nice. Yeah, you talk about your week a bit, and we'll go back into it.
Well, so the funny thing is, at your party, glad you had a great party. I had a lot of fun too, but everyone kept asking me because I wasn't drinking. They're like, oh my gosh, did you have a health scare? And I'm like, no. I'm just not drinking. But it was so funny. Like, everyone was asking me this, and I was like, no, I'm just drinking seltzer tonight. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, it's fine. So, which was funny because you were the one that had the health scare, and I was just like, I'm good.
The one that not many people were really meant to know about. And then I started getting messages from England going, oh my God, how many people have been told? I know it's on the podcast, but
all of England was told. All of England was told. This week, other than your birthday, it was an okay week. I mean, there's been a lot of work tension that I'm not going to go into.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was quite grateful whenever you were like, "Oh yeah, we're not recording tonight." I was like, "Good," because I want to go out and have oysters, which I did have oysters last night. I was just, yeah. I was like, it was one of those. I was like, I deserve a treat this week because it has been so rough at work. I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself,
and you should.
And I did treat myself, and it was wonderful.
But that's a little bit. We can mention that a little bit later as well. Later, because we've got this whole vibe of when you need something, do it.
Indulge.
As long as it's not though. So actually, we'll come into the treat yourself attitude because that always gives me anxiety.
Yeah, because I mean, treat yourself can get out of hand if you're buying like
if you don't have the money.
Right, I was gonna say if you're buying a $7,000 like pair of boots. Maybe you indulged too much. Yes. You flew too close to the sun on that one.
Yes, Icarus, put those wings away.
So that being said, I at least went to an oyster happy hour where they're half off. So,
Do you trust the oyster happy hours at half off?
Whenever it's Hank's, yes.
Yeah, so you have to know, yeah.
It's one of these, if it was a different restaurant, maybe not, but I trust Hank's and I trust their suppliers, so yeah.
Okay, then, so second question. Mm-hmm. What's the cheapest you'll pay for an oyster or is it regional and based on circumstance?
So the price I paid last night was $2.50 per oyster, and that's as low as I'll go. Because if it's a $1 oyster, I don't necessarily trust that.
Okay. What if you're in somewhere where you felt that the what's it called? I'd say the production line.
So
that was so close that you could tell it was cheap.
So if it was on the Gulf Coast, like in Alabama and Gulf Shores, where they actually shuck them right off the boat right there, and it's like $1 oyster, I would trust it there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So that's sort of, there's a little bit of distance between here and where these are coming from. Not a lot, and not enough to have any concern, but I'm not going to pay $1 for an oyster here in DC.
And final question.
Yes.
How many oysters make a meal for you?
Last night I had 12.
Yeah.
Normally I have half a dozen. I had 12 last night. If I really wanted to make a true meal and be like, I'm not having anything else afterwards, I would say 18 to 24. I have them up different ways. Sorry, I like oysters.
You do.
And I'll have a few like Oysters Rockefeller in that,
What's oyster? That's the one with its...
Oysters Rockefeller is where they broil them, and there's typically Parmesan cheese, and it's butter, and it's...
I just don't know Rockefeller. It's so back in... It's so new America to me.
It's so... Here's the thing. Oysters Rockefeller is very decadent, and it's like, I can have like 2 of those, and we're good.
Yeah.
Like, it is so rich.
We'll discuss oyster. We'll discuss actually... decadent and needing less in a bit. We've got so much to talk about today.
So much to talk about. So much.
Final, actually, this
one more question.
One more question. Actually, because I do have a bit of a weakness for some like I like fried food. Mm-hmm. I don't eat a lot of deep fried food, so when I have it, I know I can have it.
Yeah.
Do you like a fried oyster, or are you very much more? No, oysters are the perfect specimen. Do not touch them, honey. They do not need you to change them.
No, I believe that oysters are versatile and that you can have them raw, you can have them broiled with Rockefeller, you can have them fried on a po' boy. Like, you can have them any way you need to have them. You can have them grilled. My uncle will fix them grilled, and they're really good whenever he does that. So
I also know as well, when someone says fix them, that means they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's code for they know what they're doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Thank you, Uncle Jeff. Yeah, I think oysters can be however you want to have them.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Well, no, my week, I said ultimate birthday. We went out. We had a really great party. I said I got some lovely stuff. Doyle got me this amazing book that's a complete interactive book. I'll have to show it to you.
Okay.
And it's meant, and he gave it to me, and it looked like, I was like, thank you. And it was a secondhand book, and it isn't. It's designed to look secondhand, and the idea is it's a book, and then someone's made notes, and there's like in it. But J.J. Abrams did it.
Oh.
It's so weird, and because he goes, I got your book, and I open it up, and the first thing it says is, on loan, like it's meant to be a library book. And I'm like, okay.
It's like, what is this? What did you do? Where did you get this?
And Hub's got me some lovely shirts, and then our lovely friends Anthony, Jeremiah, and Zach got me a really nice notebook. I just don't know what to. I was like, do I want to start like Anne Franking it in his notebook? And I'm like, no, I know when I'm going to come to writing in it, but it comes with a. They got me a lovely candle which smelled like a gift shop, which I love a gift shop because it's like you're like on holiday again.
Mm-hmm.
But the notebook, it's got my initials on it, and it's also, you can get a leather cover for it.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm gonna go. I'll know when when my next writing is. My 2 writing projects are coming along, snail's pace, but they are coming along.
But they're coming along, which is good.
But I did that. I said we did have a tough. It's feeling a little bit better. I've been helping a friend out with some what projects, which we can talk about in a bit. But he put me on he asked me if I could help him on a course, which I learned a lot more about Facebook and Meta advertising. Don't judge with Meta. I know people, but it was a really good way to come into the week. But we also had that. We had bloody health insurance stuff still. We're really being screwed over tax-wise. And our circumstance means that we're really eligible for fucking nothing. I then got offered an EEG for Monday. We can't take it because we still don't know what the health insurance situation is, because we don't know how much it's going to cost in that. So it really broke my heart to have to cancel. But we think we're close to making a decision about next steps, and it's going to be a bit tough, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
But no further health things, luckily.
Good.
But apart from that, I think there was a lot of development. I said, and it was just a good week. The hub's got me though, a new set of headphones after the baking incident.
I love this.
I had 2 lovely new headphones, so lovely that I wanted to keep them so nice that one went in laundry, and luckily it was the other one, so I've now been able to pair the leftovers and make a new 3rd set. He laughed about it. We were out last night to say goodbye to Alan and Lennon. Well, Alan's gone off tomorrow. Lennon's here for a little bit longer, who were on a show a couple of weeks back. And also hello to all your people that you connected and kind of listened in on bits. But no, we ended up in Dutch last night. And by the way, it was Daddy Central in there. It was very delicious. There was one guy that looked like a young Henry Cavill, and we were fucking perving over him.
No, you perving over a Henry Cavill lookalike.
He was very good. Like he did not know how good looking he was.
Did he have the blue eyes?
I think so. He was short. He wasn't he wasn't a statue.
I love how you're like, you start off, he was short, and I'm like, so.
But he wasn't because Henry Cavill was really for Brit is very tall.
Yeah, isn't he like 6'7" or something?
Yeah, he had this lovely. He had all the curls. Anyway, on that note, let's go wander around Ina's garden so we can maybe stalk Henry Cavill.
Yes. So this week, we're continuing our adventures in Maison Perrier. We're having a peach spritzer, which I haven't had yet. You are opening right now. And it's because peach is like the season of like late spring, early
So you know
summer.
it's been freshly got from the garden.
Absolutely. It's not an overpowering peach.
No, peach can be. It doesn't. Yeah. Peach was a very common scent for bathroom cleaner in England for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So peach for me really brings out a.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
No,
for us, it was like pine sol. So
yeah. So I should though quickly, while I remember, it was a best of British party. Everyone, Daniel and I, ended up with virtually matching outfits.
Well, unintentionally, very much unintentionally.
Everyone looked great. The dog had his little bow tie on. I'm going to give snaps though to the lovely Meg.
Okay. Oh yes.
Who turns up in a very racially sensitive costume of Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Including she had what was her
Northwestern
sweater, and a lovely basket actually. Where she basically wrapped shit, not really, but like Starbursts and pretzels. I'm going to point a health and safety out now. Some went missing. Meg wants to reiterate that this was found at the back of her cupboards, so maybe people should not have. It's probably good, but it wasn't bought because it was the highest quality.
Well, I love the fact that there were little bitty hand towels and there was like a sprig of lavender in each one. And
she bought the cum rags.
Yeah, I just like died laughing. Like I saw it, I was like, this is perfection, Meg.
It was so good. I'm also, because we were going to hers tomorrow, hers and Tim's, for a lovely basket thing. I'm going to get the basket down and put everything in a basket. I've got a basket. We're just going to basket everything from now on.
Oh, it's the sisterhood of the baskets.
But no, this is nice, Daniel. This one. The things with these is after a while, I think I can drink less of these than I can alcohol. which is weird.
Well, I mean, for me, I can drink them just fine. So
Yeah, like they're good. How do you feel thin can versus fat can? Do you have an issue with the thin can?
So when it's in a thin can like this one, it feels a little bit more special to me. However, I think like ounce-wise, there's less in the thin can.
I love it now because they advertise, don't they, of the sodas, Coca Light. Oh well, we we've got smaller cans now for your health benefit. Yeah, and also your prices haven't decreased.
There is less in these smaller cans. They're taller, yeah, but they're a little bit less. But again, psychologically, it feels a little bit fancier. Like, you know.
Nice.
It's a little bit like a cocktail in a can.
It is. I can see you on like Clapham Common or one of the roll parks with one of those.
You really could. Oh yeah, it'd be like a malt drink, you know. Oh.
Or gin and tonics. The canned gin and tonics come like that.
Yeah, I was about to say I had one of those last time. I was in
Knock your
London.
fucking socks off there. Huh?
They did. I was like, oh my gosh. I also had Pimm's in a can. That was interesting.
Yes, they do a good mix though.
Oh, it was a very good mix, but I was like, strong.
The lovely Sarah of Alex and Sarah actually does say that the best mix for Pimm's is actually on a bottle.
Yeah.
She said actually you can look into it all you like, but they actually do the best ratio of Pimm's. And the Hubs did a lovely load of Pimm's for everyone. Not that I got any of it. There's some strawberries in there still.
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, you meant to we're supposed to have the fruit.
I think it should still be good after all. I don't know. I never know over here the preservatives you put in crap.
I don't think we put in fresh fruit.
We can have a look.
Yeah.
We can try some. On that note, Daniel, it's no news as preservatives in fruit, but what is news this week?
This is the portion of the podcast where we talk about things that are gay adjacent, or just a little bit camp.
Well, we said that we weren't going to talk about this person until we got a conclusion to his story, and now we find my sister's eyes just lit up. Former Republican Representative Jules Santos was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Prosecutors have asked the judge who sentenced the former Republican congressman from New York to 87 months for what they called unparalleled crimes. Fucking deserves it.
Yes.
That's it. Done. He went above and beyond. He got caught.
Yes.
Simple as. There is no conspiracy here. There is nothing.
He did crime. He got caught.
He was gay. He did crime. But that's not the crimes we're telling you to do.
Right. We're asking you to do high-collar crime. Like, crafty crime.
Anyway, that's moving on. Because honestly, he just winds me up now. And it's clearly getting to him. Because you can see you see him, you know.
The tears stain down his face like Tammy Wynette.
Well, talking of camp culture, the lovely Las Costa Reachers, which is Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers, they do their wonderful culture awards, which is absolutely fucking hilarious.
It is.
It started off as a podcast episode, and then they started to do like they have obviously Bowen Yang as a huge fan. They both have huge. Actually, Matt, when you look at his career, he really has. He's a fucking grafter.
Oh yeah.
We should try and get to his. Because he always does 9:30 Club or something for his Christmas show. But they are going to Bravo are going to be showing the Culture Awards this year. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because they did it. They did it as a live show. Yeah. And now they're actually going to televise it.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they do it as a live show 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's sort of, you have to listen to it, and the nominations are especially funny because they start to lose it through the nominations. Yeah. But it's like awards like the best the Kate Blanchett award for the best Kate Blanchett when it comes to eyeshadow. I was like, it's so stupid. But people genuinely are excited, and they get guests on who they meet after this. They've met through something, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we got your culture award, and we know we got your." And I was originally it wasn't an award. Yeah, it was just like they were told it, and they said, "No, apparently I got your culture award," and everyone's just so excited. So that's really good, and it's nice to see them doing well. According to Desperate Housewives fans, there's a new spin-off in the works. Kerry Washington's involved. Yay. It's going to be called like Wisteria Lane, so it'll be very interesting. I love Desperate Housewives. I think there may be a couple of silly seasons, but for the most part, I think I didn't like the season where Lynette went back to work because it became hyper formulaic of
Yeah.
Lynette gets shat on because she's a woman. Not saying that that's a bad thing. Lynette finds crafty way to get out of that, and the formula came to the surface a little bit too much in that season.
It was very much like, oh, we're going with that problem, and we've solved it with that trope that we thought we were going to solve it with.
I did like how I'm glad they're not, whether or not they explore them, because I think they all. Susan leaves. I think they all eventually leave.
Yeah, they all left at the end.
And they all had really believable... I like the way Tom and Lynette actually separated, then got back together in a really good way. And I also love the idea that Gabby and Carlos just spent the rest of their years together, but arguing. And I'm like, that's all
it was perfection.
So I'm excited for that. Talking of spin-offs and remakes, do you know the actor Adam Pearson?
No.
So he has the facial deformities. He recently did the ScarJo film.
Yes, you've told me about it. Yes.
And he did the new one. I've still yet to see it with Sebastian Stan, who Sebastian Stan has the same disfigurement, gets it not fixed, gets it altered, and then becomes obsessed with the actor that plays him in a play. It's a very meta, and Adam Pearson is the actor that would... It's very that. But he's from Croydon. I would see him in the bars. My brother spoke to him at a couple of parties, met him. He said he's a really lovely guy, but he's a huge disabilities advocate because he's just at the forefront with his condition. And it's interesting that his twin brother has the same condition but has learning difficulties but no facial disfigurements. It's all to do with how it affects the nerves and it's so interesting. And he's apparently he's a really lovely guy. He's doing really well. He does a lot of work with the BBC. He's going to be playing the Elephant Man, Joseph Merrick. A24 doing a version. Very, very interesting. I think we watched the original in school. They showed it. We did a semester in I think we were 15 in Disability Victorian Society.
Oh, very nice.
British schools actually were pretty good. I mean, we couldn't teach English language, but boy, could we go and tell history. So I'm really excited. I'm like, ooh, that actually is that something I want to hear.
That does sound very, very interesting. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Now, my final bit of news is a bit of irony. So a few years back, there is a very famous anti-piracy advert in England. It goes, you wouldn't steal a car, would you? You wouldn't steal a DVD, would you? Don't steal a movie. It was famously in the IT crowd taken up with, you wouldn't shoot a policeman, would you? You wouldn't take his helmet, shit in it, would you? You wouldn't give the helmet to the widow, then steal it back off her. They took it way too far.
Yeah, as they do in that show.
But it's iconic because it uses this real gritty editing and this font. And it turns out the font was stolen. They didn't get permission.
No!
Yeah, someone's worked out the font was stolen.
The irony.
That was going to be my gagged and gooped this week, but I actually have Senate Twink news, which is going to leave you gagged and gaped. So that's why that got moved to this one. And as I drop that bombshell, pick it up, Adam. Pick it up, Daniel. And what's your news?
My news for the week. So a little bit of a follow-up that we've sort of been following on this podcast. I think I was the one who... Yes, I did break this one. I'm now going to have to re-break it. So Greta Gerwig has named that Emma Mackey will be the White Witch in her Narnia adaptation.
So I wanted to... This is official now, isn't it?
This is official.
Because there's so much flying about because of the of it all.
Yes, because of the of it all. So anyways, it is official that Emma Mackey will be doing it. The two of them work together on Barbie. Emma Mackey is known for Sex Education, playing Maeve. Fantastic in that role.
I do wonder how many people, because she's been brewing Narnia for a while, and considering the ensemble that was I wonder how many people she was sort of having a bit of a tester.
I don't know, but we do know for a fact that she is joining Daniel Craig in Narnia.
Who's Daniel Craig playing?
He's supposed to be playing Uncle Andrew, because it's going to be the Magician's Nephew, the first book.
Yes.
Sixth book and how it was written. Anyways.
Yeah, because Janus appears in the first one, but very briefly, doesn't she?
Well, the last half of that book.
Yeah.
However, it is still rumored that Meryl Streep will be involved with this somehow, as Aslan is what she's saying, so we'll see about that one. And Charlie XCX is still linked to it, but I'm not sure what role if she's not playing Janice. So... to be determined on that one.
Lucy.
Lucy. Oh my God.
No, Edmund in Dragonfall. No. I like the Meryl Streep of it all. I'm also a little bit like, it's a gender flip. It's great, which I've no issue with the gender flip actually, because at the end of the day, Aslan's meant to be. He said it's a species flip because Aslan's meant to be Jesus.
Yeah.
But I love Meryl, but it's sort of that she'll do it well. Great, done it.
She'll do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note.
Oxford's
where you went, wasn't it, C.S. Lewis? I think the school.
Yeah.
So there's a stone table there, and it is rumoured to be what when Aslan was, spoiler alert, he's killed, and he's left on the stone table, and he comes back to life. If you just read the fucking Bible. I do actually, and I like these, but I've actually read most of them. Horse and the Boy is a bit of a drag, but,
I hated Horse and His Boy.
Because it happens...
Silver Chair, I love that one.
Yeah, I need to go back and actually read them before this comes out.
Yeah.
Oxford students, this is a rumour, allegedly, would like to fuck on that table, and it's called Doing the Aslan.
Oh my gosh, Max.
Anyway, back with your news.
Back with my news. So now we're going to go cover the Jo Jo Siwa of it all. Oh my gosh, have you been following this?
Yeah, because a lot of the British stuff of it, because they don't know who she is.
They don't know. I don't even know who she is at this point.
Dance mums, yeah.
Does she know who she is at this point? Anyways, so the internet personality is what I'm going to call her, has recently been on Celebrity Big Brother UK. There has been scandal weeks ago with Mickey Rourke and comments that were made. We're not going to touch that. However, after those comments were made, she then became sort of entangled with one Chris Hughes, who provided comfort to her.
He's a Love Islander. So just so I side note, people, we tend to now fill out the ranks with Love Island people in our British stuff.
I mean, you have how many seasons of Love Island? Like, there's enough to go around.
And actually, a lot of them do turn out to have a personality.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, sure, put them on another show. Like,
yeah.
They're a bit like a Kardashian.
Usually the one they are on a lot is they have celebs go dating, and no celebrity worth their salt is going to go dating in public, 'cause it's all people from failed dating shows.
Yeah. So anyways, Chris Hughes provided comfort. There was a lot of on-air flirting. Prior to this, Jo Jo Siwa identified as L, as in lesbian, but after the flirting, decided that she identified as queer. Now, at the same time, her non-binary partner, Kath Ebb, is in Los Angeles watching all of this go down. Kath flies all the way to the UK for the live finale, only to be broken up with at the after party after the show.
So she did break up with them.
Did break up with them after the show. Like, after they flew there. Broke up.
Because it's the Irish podcast. A lot of them do discuss it, but because they don't know who Jo Jo Siwa is, once it ended, they kind of dropped the stories, whereas I knew that one of us would pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had said originally when they were looking at it, they felt that it was just basically being cleverly edited, because they were like, well, no, she's young and she wants a good friend within the show. But, yeah. Anyways,
they were engaged prior to Jo Jo Siwa going on to the show. They are not anymore. They have both confirmed that they have gone their separate ways.
And I'm also going to say this, and so I just dive into your news, Daniel, that,
absolutely.
you know, I got married when I was 30, you know, and my hubs, I forget how, he was 28, which doesn't seem young, but it's...
You cougar, you.
Cougar. But he was, you know, he came across as older, but he was young, he was in his 20s. She's what, like, barely 21, if anything?
21, 22.
She's too... She didn't need to get engaged.
She's famous for being famous.
I think she's got a personality. I think she's got some level of dancing. A lot of it is this very static, very much like boom, 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 pop, 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 dancing.
Yeah.
And she generally does have a lot of energy. And I think being a young Nickelodeon star with a lot of a, you know, as a openly queer person is important. But why the fuck she was engaged that young, I don't know. Just
don't know
enjoy
either.
Your youth.
I'm still enjoying my youth.
Because Vinny was it? He was in Stranger Things.
Millie Bobby Brown.
She's married, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm like, mate, you're too young.
And she's like 20, and I'm like, honey.
Yeah, honey, be you know, just enjoy being engaged.
Don't get married before it's legal to drink.
Yeah.
Like, truly, have some of those mistakes.
Anyway,
have a couple of those mistakes.
Carry on views, probably go on an old person rant.
Oh, I'll carry on some news. So this past week, RuPaul's Drag Race UK finalist Kitty Scott Claus ran the London Marathon in full drag, Sans Hills, in honor of her sister, the Vivienne. they ran with GAY, or gay, bar owner Jeremy Joseph, and the two raised funds for Sahir House. Does that make sense?
Let's have a look.
Sahir.
No. Probably a home, a smaller one, but nice.
Anyways, so my question is, Max, she wasn't running in heels, but what did Kitty Scott Claus experience running that London Marathon?
Probably, I mean, I'd be curious to know what level of drag the outfit was in.
Oh, she looked like Barbie.
Yeah,
She
it's
looked
hard.
like Barbie.
I mean, I've run shirtless. I'm shorts jockeys and a top that, and I will put my number on my shorts in case the shirt needs to come off. But most time it doesn't because it's colder weather.
Yeah.
And somehow the really muscly guys always find a reason to. No, she's. I'd be curious to know what her makeup looked like at the end of it.
Oh, I didn't see an after with the makeup. I saw like the before, and I was like, she looked like Kitty Scott Claus.
I mean, there's a guy every year that runs it in a full-on rhino costume.
Oh my god.
He's famous for. I think he's probably got automatic entry by now, but he does it every year for the WWF.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyways, I have a little bit of news that didn't make it on here, but we're going to do a quick little drive-by for this. So, the Gilded Age starts back.
Yay.
June. It's coming. Happy 10th birthday to Princess Charlotte, and happy 14th wedding anniversary to Kate and Wills this week.
Happy. I remember watching that wedding.
I did
very
too.
Drunk early, because you would be even earlier.
Yeah, I was not drunk, but I remember
Yeah,
watching
my
that
mate
one.
Jay came over for 2 bottles of champagne, and me and Mum and Jay were wasted. We had a whole street party, but we lived on a hill. We don't have block parties; they call them street parties in England. And they had a bouncy castle, and the kids jumped, and when they landed, it shot down the hill. They had to put a van next to it, but that's usually bullshit.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, and you jumped in it, and it just went down
No,
the hill.
the kids did it on their own.
All right. Final bit of news. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced their 2025 class. There are 13 acts that are being inducted, including Joe Cocker, Salt and Pepper, and the White Stripes. However, we're most excited about Cyndi Lauper getting into it. So she is best known for being a staunch ally to our community. She was originally named Best New Artist in 1985. Now, the surprise of it all is she beat out Mariah Carey, who has been nominated 2 years now in a row. Will Mariah make it for the third year? We'll see.
I want to know how this works, because every year someone gets... I'm like, how have they not been inducted already?
Well, it's funny because apparently the number of acts that they induct can change every single year based on the whim that they feel. It's not like it has to be 5, it has to be 7.
Yeah.
It's like however many we fill, but not for you, Mariah.
It's so weird. Joe Cocker should be in there sooner, quicker than that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think he got much longer. He was old back then.
Yeah. One of them was Chubby Checker was also inducted in this year's list, and you were just like, he's from the 1950s. Like, how was he not already in there?
Didn't Chubby Checker go down with Thingy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went down with
Thingy.
we've got niches upon niches. Who did he go down with?
Was it Glimnar? No.
No. Chubby Checker. He wasn't that chubby. No. Is he still alive? No, he's still alive.
Never mind. He didn't go down with anybody. He went down with the Titanic.
Didn't Thingy... Oh, I know what I'm looking for now. I think I know what I'm talking about. Buddy Holly, and it was the big bopper that went down with Buddy. I think it was the big bopper that went down with Buddy Holly. My God, we got old in less than a week.
Oh my gosh, we're declining.
On that note, should we take a break?
We should.
And we're back to the shocking news. Patsy Cline died in an aircraft accident in 1963. Anyway, Daniel, what's been culture for you this week?
Culture for me this week. So food for this week, I have been on a salmon wedge and salad kick. I've had it at least 3 times this week. Also, a shout out to the Cannon Cove oysters I had last night. They were quite delicious. Nice and floral, like little liquid with that brine. Drink of the week was a Perrier Citrus Fizz. Very much tasted like nectarine, so if you like nectarine, I highly suggest going for that one. Songs of the week. Both were brand new songs. Bittersweet by LP GOB. and Stevie and Sly by Young Gun and Silver Fox.
Nice.
Highly recommend the last one if you like disco. We'll put it that way. Did not have a musical of the week because, well, someone was listening to 1989 and Reputation on repeat this week because it was one of those weeks.
Oh, God.
Television, The Cleaner, Season 3. Only 2 episodes this season.
I haven't seen it yet.
2 episodes. They're really good, but it was only 2 episodes. So,
Like, if you check, is it a slow release or is it?
I've got to go back and check, but I feel like it was only 2.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Is that even a season?
I don't know. Anyways,
Podcast. What you're talking, actually.
Yeah, podcast of the week. Conspiracy Tapes, Season 4. It was a case on the Satanic Panic. Did not see the ending coming on that last episode. It was it was intriguing, we'll put it that way. Very, very intriguing as a historian. So, anyways, my dear, what about you? What was culture for you this
It
week?
says season 3 came out 2024 and there's 6 episodes.
Okay, so then it's slow release from BritBox, so there should be more
Yeah.
this week. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I watched the first 2 episodes. Quite good.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
For me, let's get my lovely magical book out. So for music, I keep coming back to a lot of Arcade Fire at the moment. I think it's just a suburban dream sort of going on. A lot of movie themes as well. The Fountain, Sunshine. Also, last night we watched Hacks, and they used the song "Breakthrough Queen." I feel it comes off the Vision album. It's a really great song when they're real rocky sort of elements. So give that one a listen. For food, we had a lot of party food. Luckily, it was all very well planned. Otherwise, it would have been a nightmare. But we did like sausage rolls. We did the coronation chicken, and I did trying to crack the cheese and onion slice dough. That's because the cheese and onion melts a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work out how to stop that happening. Because it was a Sunday, I'd like to curry on my birthday. Actually cooked it this time round, which was nice, just because it's just so much cheaper. And we did toad in the hole for the real fake George's Day, but Jamie Oliver does an onion gravy. It just uses balsamic vinegar, and I was like, that's weird, and oh no, it's actually amazing.
Okay.
No, it's like it cooks it out quite quickly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna play with that a little bit more. Also, for restaurants, we went to the Royal, which is down actually near you.
Yeah.
We wanted to go with something. I wanted to try something new for my birthday, and we were going to try and get to the barbecue place, and then that came up, and it was just so lovely. It's very bistro-y, but I'm getting a bit homesick at the moment with everything going on, and it just was very South London, and I loved it. But you mentioned earlier about Oysters Rockefeller, and we did not get that. But
I was going to say, if they had that was a surprise.
It's a very weird menu, and it doesn't feel like it's going to fill you out. And then about halfway through, they do a big basket of fries, though, which is nice. They were tasty. So it was like one of those where we're like, oh, actually, there was a lot more than we thought there was. And then sadly on Thursday, we went to Hycon for the last time because they're closing it. That's because they fucked up all the payment and the old tipping and shit in DC, but another one bites the dust, and they say, the restaurant trade is doing very well in DC because they've got all people opening all these new restaurants. I'm like, that doesn't mean it's successful. It just means people are investing in new restaurants.
It means there's turnover.
But Hycon is next to 2 venues and next to a cinema. Apparently it just couldn't. I'm like, fuck that shit, quite frankly. Movies, I went to see Minecraft. I'd run out of movies to see.
Oh.
There was a gay one I really wanted to see, and it was only, even though it's advertised down at the Draft House, it was only on in George Channel. I'm not walking down fucking George Channel.
No.
Minecraft was actually quite funny.
Oh, good.
I don't get a lot of the references. I just presume that they were references. But Jack Black was great. Jennifer Coolidge was like in a bit part in it, and it was just funny. There were some actually really funny moments in there. It was very self-aware. I quite like that. And then for television, Andor's just giving me life at the moment. So we are 3 years before the Battle of Yavin at the moment. So we're loving that. The whole block by block is going very well. I really had a chat with Daniel about how Mon Mothma's looking gorgeous in every scene.
It's the gods.
So this is getting good feedback as well. And I was chatting to Alex and saying, I really hope Disney to pay attention a bit more to this, because they really have cracked a formula. And I love the Alkali. I've loved a lot of them, but this is creating an engagement level, and I think that maybe they need to sort of take a breath and see where they want to go with it. And yeah, that's it. It would move me now onto Star Wars of it all. So I don't know how I wanted to do this, because we're going to talk a bit about what's been hitting us with the culture. Well, the first thing, so we have a minor thing to discuss.
A very, very
Minor thing. And it made us giggle because it happened just after we recorded last week.
Literally.
So that may have been culture for us, but what's been making an impact for everyone else?
This is the portion of the podcast where we check the feeds, test the moods, and we ask a question: what is gay culture?
Gwynnie-P is eating bread again.
And pasta.
Yes. So Gwyneth Paltrow says she has moved away from her years-long strict paleo diet and is venturing back into carbs and cheese. Speaking on the Goop podcast released Tuesday, the 52-year-old actress and founder of lifestyle brand Goop said long-term inflammation health stuff was the reason she and her husband Brad Falchuk became paleo a few years ago. Now, I thought she was paleo before that, but that's just me.
I thought she was paleo before Brad, but
she had previously told her podcast listeners that she had genes for and blah blah blah. I don't even want to read that. And they even look fake genes actually, raising her risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. And I have to be really careful not to have inflammation in my brain. Well, I mean, a lot of this podcast was thanks to Gwyneth Paltrow's ski trial accident.
it was.
Yeah, Gwyneth.
Oh, Gwynnie. It's so nice knowing that she's come back to the dark side and is enjoying a bread and pasta.
But she can only sustain this sort of thing because of her money.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she must be getting supplements and stuff.
I mean, she has to. Like, I would imagine she would. Like, going strictly paleo is not the best. Going strictly anything on a diet is not the best thing. Like,
it's hard on people.
Yeah.
I know people that are on it, and it's so limiting, you know, and it's just...
Because with paleo, don't you get ketosis? Which I'm sure one of our listeners will correct me on that one.
What's that one?
Isn't it like the brain fog that happens occasionally?
But then...
Yeah.
If you're not getting it... I mean, if you're doing it to protect your brain, you know...
But then you have the brain fog. It's like...
It is. I do get it, and I think some diets work for some people, but you know, this is the thing that I mean. There's been a huge one is the sugar-free diet, and I get that, but unfortunately, you know, we don't. And to talk a bit about, we'll do a bit of it. We've got plenty of time to do health and well-being. Is that when I went to my doctor a couple of months back, one of the things that he said to me. He said he was asking about my diet. He said my cholesterol was high, and I've been told since then that that's something I don't really have. Like, there's like you might just have high cholesterol because of your running. Yeah. And you know, he said, well, my rule is, you know, don't eat bread, pasta, rice, or potatoes. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then he's like, if it's off the shelf, don't bother. I'm like, there's not enough hours in the fucking day. He you know, he's a doctor,
right?
I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. He wasn't, but I'm like, what planet do you live on? I'm pretty sure he gets like meal prep kits or whatever, God. You know. And I get it. But these diets aren't diets; they're lifestyles. And when the sugar-free diet was big in England, and it still is. I know that we all could do with cutting back on sugar.
Right.
I've been last couple of weeks getting a lot of sugar cravings more now, and I started to really like chocolate again. And you bought me some lovely chocolate last week after everything.
It was Easter.
Yeah, so, but you know, they say that when you go sugar free, it's not a diet; it's a complete lifestyle change. Yeah. And we're going through something similar with the non-drinking. Is you do have to recalibrate, especially at the start. But you know. It's not like we all sit there and go, hey, we're going to eat this because, you know, we want it. It's like, it's the cheaper option. And we're not also saying, hey, we're going to buy this because it's going to save us some cash. It's the option we can actually, most of us can fucking afford at the moment because especially in DC, the food prices are through the fucking roof.
Right. It's like, sorry, we're buying the elbow pasta because we can afford the elbow pasta. We cannot get the quinoa that costs like $10 more a pound. Like, I'm sorry. And
it's, you know, even like if I cook and I've got it pre-sorted, it can still take time. So I guess, I think I do like Gwyneth. She does live on another fucking planet.
I was about to say, her grasp of reality of everyday person is not there.
You know, and she, when she did, was it the food buying challenge? And she had to kind of buy a meal and she could barely afford the lemon or something. Yeah. You're like, honey, you know. And she just seemed to be quite aware that she never seemed to take from it that her diet is unaffordable by normal people.
And unattainable.
Yeah. It's, I mean, good for her. I am very curious to know the science behind a lot of her reason for going paleo.
Question mark on that one.
And she must be so fucking hungry the whole time.
Well, I mean, or the fact of the matter is she's so thin that it doesn't matter. Like, her brain's emaciated, just like a stick.
It could be.
To quote a very famous line from a show, like,
it's just
maybe once you get that skinny, you just don't become hungry. Like,
I mean, she must. And this is the thing. Like I say, you know, me and the hubs go through stuff, and you know, with diet, and we're in a bit of a shitty place with our diet at the moment because you know we've got leftover from the party and stuff, and the sausage rolls have to go in a bin today. But
wait, there's more sausage rolls?
Yeah, but they're week old. So if you want to reheat, I had some today. I feel fine, but today is the last day of them. But you know, I and this is the thing is like I try, and like last night we got in and I reheated some curry and we had some rice and we were both like starving. So it was just a plate, you know,
perfection,
trough, you know, of it. But other times I'm like, look, we have to keep it down. I said, you know, it's like you have to ride out the hunger, and it is not it's not that we're starving ourselves, but you do have to adjust your mindset to what a portion is.
Yeah,
we do eat bigger.
Yeah, or it's, oh my gosh, I just had dinner. 2 hours later, I'm hungry again. It's like, maybe just have some water.
But then at the same time, is if you're like we had, like we have the ice cream, the frozen yogurt stuff, and you know, occasionally I get like a chocolate biscuit out or something, and sometimes it is just a nibble. I think also the 3 meals a day is not some, you know, we kind of push around it, and and this is kind of where, like, I was going to go to next of a bit of stuff, and you talking about going out last night and needing things is we have to remember a bit of moderation goes a long way.
Yes,
you know, and I know that if you need something, if you really cannot control once you start on something. And you're eating, and I can't have this in the house. That is a genuine thing. I mean, I said we've got a thing of goldfish up there, which is just slowly getting completely consumed. But you know, we don't usually have snacks apart from that.
I was about to say, but the thing is, you don't normally have them. They are indeed a treat. It is not every single week you are going out and buying a gallon of goldfish.
Do.
Yeah.
Did you ever, any of your like close relatives ever have like the big thing of treats and snacks on the table?
So my grandmother, she didn't have it on the table, but on her counter she had what was known as the cookie jar.
Yeah.
And she would stock it up with like whatever sugary treat was in there, and whenever you went over to her house, you could go in it and you could get one. You could get one. You know, and it could be, you know, oh my gosh, she had a little Debbie cakes of some sort, or oh my gosh, there were cookies of some sort in there, but you can have one. But yeah, so like you would have like the treat jar essentially.
But I went to, when we stayed at Big Ginger's mum's house. Hi, Mama Kim. She had a big thing of that. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And obviously we kind of turned up drunk and we nibbling on whatever shit we could find. You know, it was a drunk
like all of it.
But at the same time, it was, you know, like that concept of it. But no, it is. Yeah, I hope Gwynnie's in a happier place now with it all.
I just hope she's making peace with having pesto and pasta. Like,
but just,
be like the rest of us.
Enjoy it. I say that's what I said this week is, so like for me, I started to nibble on a bit of chocolate. I like little chocolate things. So it's just that little bit of a I just need that bit of a bite. But I was saying this weekend, for me, I watch a lot of Star Wars movies. You know, I went to see Revenge of the Sith at the cinema and completely cried like an idiot again. And then Sunday was always going to be Empire Strikes Back because that's my favourite. And I always do it on my birthday. But like Saturday, the Hubs, I'd done all the cooking and the Hubs was just finishing the cleaning. He said, "Why don't you go upstairs and read for a bit?" And I said, "I'm just going to watch a movie," because I had to catch up on some texts to people. And I really was like, what do I want to watch? And he's like, I could do Barb and Star, I could do Prada, you know, something new or not new. And I was like, I really want to watch Return of the Jedi. And it's not my. I love it. It's not my favorite one, but at the same time, a lot of it because it was always on when we were kids, and it's I think most accessible. It's a lot lighter. Was that I don't know, like I knew that's what my body needed, and there was no harm in spending an hour or an hour and a half and then watching the rest of the next day, of just kind of being like, what did I really want? What do you see in your head when you need something? And always summer. I was summer, nice weather, heat. We never got a lot of that in England. Sometimes it was always like that California thing, and Jedi is a bit more California-y than the others in a weird way.
Well, I mean, it was filmed in Redwoods,
Redwoods, and it was also Arizona for bits. But it's always that lovely, and I might end up kind of watching like the Ewok Adventure movies because, quite frankly, I don't know. But it is, I think, and you said when you went yesterday to get oysters, it's just knowing if your body needs it, do it. But if you're depriving yourself because you can't, I hate to use the term control yourself. It's try and find a way to.
Well, I mean, so for me, the oysters yesterday, I don't have oysters all the time. I don't. They are a treat.
Yeah.
It's the concept of the cookie jar. You can have one. I don't go out every single week and have oysters.
Yeah.
I hadn't been out in, I think, 3 weeks.
Mm.
And so I went and I had oysters, and I did have a friend join us while we were having oysters, Julie. Yeah. but it was one of these, like, we were having a good conversation, but it was one of these, like, I just wanted to have something a little bit special, and it's like, let's have oysters. Like, it's just what my body needed. And the thing is, like, calorie-wise, like, an oyster is not that many calories at all. It's, I think, 5 at the most. Like, it's zinc, for heaven's sakes. Like,
how do you feel about the treat yourself? Which people haven't seen. It started off in Parks and Recreation years back, and the idea is a
Donna
day and Donna, and it was I can't remember his name. Yeah. They all go out and they treat you. Just treat yourself.
Treat yourself 2007.
But it's to an excessive level of like, where's the limit?
Well, the thing in Parks and Rec is like they're treating themselves. It was ridiculous. Like they would save up so much cash, and then it's like, we're gonna buy a $3,000 purse, fine leather goods, is the name of her, like, doing it. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I think it's necessary to treat yourself every now and then. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna save. You have to have a little bit of a splurge just every now and then to feel like you're alive. Again, it's in moderation. It is not an every single day thing of, ooh, I'm going to treat myself today and I'm going to have oysters. And, ooh, I'm going to treat myself today and I'm going to have oysters. And, ooh.
Yeah.
It's not that. It is absolutely not that. It's knowing that for it to be special, you have to make it a little bit special and you cannot have it all the time. So you got to space it out just a little bit. But it also, what we were having a conversation about beforehand is also make sure that you can afford that treat. Like, if it's going to make you have anxiety because the money woes, maybe you choose something else as a treat that's a little bit less expensive. Like, maybe you buy that bar of chocolate as opposed to going out and having a 5-course meal.
Yes.
It's about trade-offs of you have to love yourself, because how the hell are you going to love anybody else? But, you've got to be an adult and know that the bank account will only go so far.
Oh, God, yeah.
And charge is not the correct answer, with your credit card either. Like, you've got to set some boundaries for whenever you're treating yourself.
Well, the thing that I heard is that so many gays in DC are just burning through credit card. They pay the minimum and keep it getting extended. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
So you want to be more fiscally responsible than doing that. So, treat yourself within some limits. Like, boundaries are nice. You can get creative whenever you have boundaries.
Well, so we're going to do bits. I've got a little bits of money over the birthday. I'm just going to we want to just get some new energy into the office a little bit. And we were going to get some stuff before everything happens, and now we're like, no, we need to do it. Do that. But anyway, Daniel, talking of people that like to treat themselves and give into temptation, should we move on to the end of the episode?
We should move on to the end of the episode.
Do you have a gagged and gooped?
No, dear, you've already said that you have a gagged and gooped that will leave me gaping.
Yes.
I believe were your terms.
Said It Twink is back.
Yes.
Said It Twink on Twitter this week just put up a huge article, huge, tweet. Basically saying, just denied entry for my hotel restaurant for wearing a cutout shirt. I thought this was Hollywood, not the Mormon Tabernacle. This was a post nestled between 2 videos of him getting hardcore bottoms, as he wore a t-shirt that said, "Daddy's cum dump."
Well,
Probably why you did not get into said restaurant.
I want to know if the cutout shirt had that on it. Oh, it did.
It was in the photo. It was very,
Risque.
Anyway,
choices were made with that one,
yeah,
as I like to say.
I don't think he's making a lot of choices. I think he's just doing what the fuck he likes, and it's biting him in the arse.
Something.
And he's not even that cute. Anyway, Daniel, do you have a word for us?
I do have a word for us this week. It's perfidious. It is something that is disloyal, unfaithful, perfidious.
That's not bug.
That is not Bug at all. Bug is probably the most loyal, most faithful.
He is. Do you have a petticoat lane?
I do have a petticoat lane. Don't give in to temptation of the rumors.
No.
Just focus on what you need to focus on.
Yeah.
Don't take the blinders off. Just keep the blinders on.
Mine is don't take up too much room on the sidewalk. Everyone, you've been spreading a lot recently, people. It's just not fun.
So I do have a complaint. This is not a petticoat lane. Literally, I was in a restaurant today because I was out documenting Ladybird stuff. And people decided to form a queue, and it was 4 across.
No.
And I was just like, it's called a single file line. Please.
No, people. Don't act stupid. Anyway, Daniel, do you think we covered everything?
My dear, we barely even set the agenda.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review the following on Twitter, X, and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.